Can we start now?
Please do.
Okay, all right. Sorry everyone for the slight delay. So welcome to a new Indonesia Project Global Seminar. My name is Arianto Patundru. I'm hosting this with Nur Kamala Mulyani and Ruth Nikijulu from the Indonesia Project. We acknowledge the first Australians and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We are grateful for the support from the Australian National University and the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Dear friends, most of you who follow the COVID situation in Indonesia know that the situation has become very dire and frightening. And most of us Indonesians have lots of maybe WhatsApp groups, and every time we read them, the odds of sad news are high, and the circle seems to be getting smaller and smaller as those who pass away are our own friends, colleagues, or relatives. So today we invite two very distinguished speakers, Dr. Rimawan Pradiptyo from Universitas Gadjah Mada and Ibu Alissa Wahid from the Gusdurian Network Indonesia. Mas Rimawan is a lecturer in Fakultas Ekonomi and Business UGM. He studied in University of York, UK with specialization in game theory. He was the visiting fellow at ANU Indonesia Project in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And last year, he initiated a social movement called Sambatan Jogja, or Sonjo, to help the community dealing with the pandemic. Mbak Alissa is a psychologist who is widely known as an activist with works in democracy and human rights, among others, as well as multiculturalism. She is a civil society ambassador for SDGs in Indonesia. She was awarded the Women Award in 2016 from Indonesia Marketing Week. They have kindly agreed to inform us about the most recent situation from the ground in Indonesia, the challenges, and also what should be prioritized. As usual, we will have question and answer sessions after the talks, but if you want, you can write your question anytime on the question and answer box, not on the chat box, and we will attend to them in the Q&A session. And please also kindly fill a little polling when it appears on your screen. We need this to improve our series. So now let me pass over to Mas Rimawan.
Excuse me, I'm still have difficulty in my system. Will it be possible to Mbak Alissa first?
Is it okay, Mbak Alissa, if you go first?
Sorry, Mbak.
You are still on mute, Mbak.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually asked for to speak later on, Pas Rimawan, because I think we need the
or we can do this. What we can do. Sorry, Mbak Alissa, I have your slides, Mas Rimawan. If you want me to run your slides, you can do it from here, and you just ask.
Now I get my slide, so I can do it
okay.
Now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you have a connection issue, Mas.
Hang on. Yes.
Iya, betul.
Yeah, I think we can run your slides for you, and you can just concentrate on.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth, can you run it, please?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mas.
One that we will share with you. The first what we want to share with you is what is Sonjo, and then later on we will situation and how the complexity that has been building up. Please. So again, next.
Next, Ruth.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the situation that we face basically. So we change the state of the world from one state of the world to the next, but it's very rapid and adjustment it should be done. And after this, after the COVID-19, after the pandemic, we will go to the endemic, and that's another stage that we need to adjust again. So in our opinion, it's just only two things that we need to do: adaptation and innovation. However, we haven't seen this kind of approach basically by the government. Next. Now, this is the way we try to approach in a way that we don't see this as a disaster in a way, but we see it as a war. We then, what are the dominant strategy, and we may take about 3 to 4 years, to pass this. And of course, the sustainability will be paramount in these circumstances. So we use the 3 strategies: expect the unexpected, thinking innovatively, and resource mobilization. Next. Now, this is the way that we perceive it. So back in March 2020, this poster is very famous, and they said, yeah, we are not in the same boat. And I said, no, we are actually one thing. We are not in the sea. If you face that storm in the sea, that's it. You cannot work together. But we are one. We are not in the sea. And at the same time, we are using internet, so we can link in internet. So the way we're trying to work with is how to promote the sambatan or social work, but using internet as the basis. Next. Okay, and then this is a typical in Indonesia in the sense that the government doesn't have any funding. The government doesn't have any money, and if we see the statistic, the government only, the deficit that the government did is just only 6% over the GDP. So it will be basically is insufficient. So in these circumstances, we use what I call the sambatan, and the sambatan is the way in which the communal work in Java in the old days, but this one has been to some extent gone in I think in early 1990s. Yeah, and that time people can build a house. Prior to 1990s, people can build a house together. And you don't have to pay your, the labor costs basically, because everybody will do on a favor. So this is the idea of the sambatan itself. Please. Okay, so this is the sambatan Jogja, and this is the value and also the mission. So the mission is basically how to help for people and people at risk due to the pandemic COVID. And the values that we have is integrity, transparency, empathy, and also the synergy. And we start on 24th of March 2020, and we use the WhatsApp. And why is it we use WhatsApp? Because WhatsApp is the most popular media at the moment in Indonesia. And on the average, we use, prior to the pandemic, is on the average we use 3.5 hours a day to access the social media. And what we ask is just only, what would happen if you just spend half an hour of your time to contribute here, to create the public goods, please. Okay, so voila, we already have 23 WhatsApp groups. It's a lot, and 3 of the WhatsApp group is not only in Sonjo, but this is our relation with other community, which is in Bandung Raya and also in Lingkar Muria. So Lingkar Muria is a Kudus, Jepara, Pati, Demak. Yeah, and the few days ago we have a collaboration with Otto. So PT Otto is a firm in Bogor who would like to create shelter. Next. Okay, so we don't need any funding. Until now, we don't have any funding, and we focus on the KPI, on the outcome. Next. Next, please. Yeah, so this is the way we try to identify. So basically, Sonjo is like creating a Doraemon pouch for health, economy, and education. And we're trying to build that for the public goods. Why is it? Because we're trying to reduce the transaction costs faced by both in our colleague in health and also in economy and also in education. Next. Okay, I can skip this. Next one. Okay, so this is the program next. Okay, so we start with this. So basically, this is start with we have a health, education, and economy. And in terms of the media, we have Sonjo Solidarity, Sonjo Mikunani, and Sonjo Angkringan. So Sonjo Angkringan is it's like a webinar. This is a weekly webinar that we held. And at the moment we have 57 series, and then also Mikunani. So Mikunani is for the learning within the community. So we learn from our from each other, basically, and all sorts of skills. Later on, we will see what kind of skills that we want people to learn. Next. Okay, so this is the knowledge management. So we start with the webinar. Basically, we identify the problem. So it's just like a research. Basically, we start from the research question. We start from the question. We have a problem, and then we try to do the webinar, and then we put it in the YouTube and also in our website, and then also we record it in living document. Now, unfortunately, the living document, the last living document is on the 28th of January, and we haven't managed to update it because the burden of the job is quite tremendous. Next. Okay, so this is the program in economy. So we have like 8 programs in economy, and I don't want to talk one by one. I just want to mention about several programs that we still have running at the moment, and we're trying to promote it again. Next one. So we have what I call EPS. So EPS is Etalase Pasar Sonjo. So this is not, don't even think this one is like a marketplace. No, this is one step below the marketplace. And why is it that we trying to do this? Because we're trying to facilitate the SME, so they can put, this is some sort of like Etalase, some sort of like a showroom. And then afterward, people can click that, and then you choose whatever you like, and then you can make a transaction directly to the seller. If you see like that, so probably you say, "Oh, this is very simple." Yes, indeed, it is very simple. But we need to know what it starts. When we start, most of our member, they only use WhatsApp, although they have smartphone. Yeah, they don't even use Google Earth or Google Map, for instance. They don't do that. And now we need to teach them on how to use this, and trying to create a poster and trying to play in the Sonjo Etalase. So in these circumstances, what we're trying to do is trying to promote digital marketing and also how to do transactions. So in these circumstances, we shift the physical transaction to the online transaction. Next, please. Now, this is the newest. This is one of the latest program that we have. This is Sonjo Pasar Desa. So Sonjo Pasar Desa is a collaboration between Sonjo and pasardesa.id. Now, the pasardesa.id is the marketplace, but their marketplace is linked to Warung, to shop, to the farmer and what is that? Fishermen and thing like that. And we try to provide a package for those who do the isolation. So this is a package, food package for 9 days or 10 days. And in this package, we are not allowed to use unhealthy food, for instance, like flour or what is that? Noodles. Yeah, instant noodles is forbidden in here. So we promote the vegetables and everything. So this is we trying to implement this in Kudus, and in Bantul, and also in Kudus, Bantul, and also in Sleman. Yeah. Next. Okay, so this is the program in health is quite a lot. I just do it quite quickly, please. Next, please. Yes, so this is the Sonjo Rewangan. So we trying to help our colleague in medical to deal with the referral system, and we created the system, using the double auction things. At the moment, we have 147 patients under the system, and then this one starts since 13th of December 2020. Next. Now, this is what you can see, monitoring things, next, please. Okay, and also we do the fundraising, but as I mentioned before, we don't accept any funding, yes, but then how the funding should be channeled, so this one is not with us, but that's with other like Lazisnu or like charity groups, basically. So the money will go to them, not to us. And it directly goes to the shelter or to the community, anybody who helped. Last time it was Professor Adi Utarini who did a concert, and she is the wife of Prof. Iwan, and Prof. Iwan is the first medical person who died due to the COVID. And she told me that, Mas, I would like to donate all of the profit that we obtained from this concert to Sonjo to help the shelter. That's make me almost pass out at that time, to hear that. I never people will do, giving this kind of a donation. Next. Okay, now this one is a corpse handling. We need to do this, and we provide a training for the corpse handling. Why is it that you do the corpse handling? And because many many people died during the self-isolation. And it was back in January 2021 in Bantul. That's why we're trying to provide these materials, and this material can be used for everybody because it's always free. Next. And nowadays this one is more, it's more suitable. Now, Sitango is the database for the shelter, all shelter in. We work with our colleague from the science department, Pak Mardani, and we create this. So it's about 60 shelters from Bantul and Sleman. And nowadays there will be more and more shelters has been developed in Yogyakarta itself. Please. Okay, so Sisterku is this is the database system for the patient in the shelter. We try to provide this, and at the moment that will be extended for the self-isolation system as well. It's that we are developing at the moment. Next. Okay, so this is a waste management. We work collaboratively with the Panggung Harjo village. They are the only one who has an incinerator. So that's why we're trying to work with them on how to tackle the medical waste, even though the medical waste is without any needles or anything, but it's still, this is a problem. Next. Now, this is the quality assurance for the shelter. So we understand that we have a, but then the question is that how the quality is mapping the standard, match into the standard. So this is the one that we're trying to promote. And we, at the moment, we invited many volunteers to be part of this movement. Next. Now, this is the latest program that we have. We're trying to promote the vaccination, working together with PKK or Women Association and Sonjo, and also with the health office. Next, please. Okay, so this is the way that we're trying to do it. We're trying to when the Putus case was it was broke out. So there was a need for it's not so many shelter, and we were approached by the NU and also Muhammadiyah. Will it be possible to develop shelters? And I asked that apparently the people in there is more prone to the, it's very religious. So that's why we use the pesantren and also the Muhammadiyah network. And at the moment, we already have many shelters. I think it was 15 shelters in Kudus and 1 shelters in Universitas Muhammadiyah Kudus. Also in Jepara, there is 3 shelters. Please. Now, this is the way that we trying to adapt this. This is what Dinkes or Health Office in Bantul developed this since I think it was April 2020. They developed what I call the Rumah Sakit Lapangan Khusus COVID. So this is a temporary hospital basically, and it was started in April 2020, far before the Wisma Atlet in Jakarta, because the officer is very they have a good vision in these circumstances, and they also developed the system of a dual referral system. This one has been built in January 2021. So we have several shelters. There's a sub-village shelter, and then village shelter, and then regency shelter, and then they have a temporary hospital and also designated hospital. So you can see the difference, the spectrum of the patient in there. And then if the patient is getting worse, you go up, and if the patient is getting better, you go down. So in these circumstances, we can ensure that only a patient with the medium and severe symptom are in the hospital. So this is the way, like if we back again in Roman Empire, is between you have auxiliaries and you have legion. So the legion only do the hard stuff. The auxiliaries, it's just like us, who work on a small thing is for the asymptomatic and or light symptom, for instance. Next. So we also do the BIMTech or technical assistant, on how to develop the shelter. We do it in a Lingkar Muria, and also then afterward we created a collaborative WhatsApp group. So we do with the Kudus, Pati, Demak, and Jepara, and also in Bandung Barat and Bandung and Karawang, and we have a WhatsApp group called Rereongan Bandung Raya. That's between the Bandung and the Bandung Barat. And then lastly, we have with the Oto, so we call it as a Sambatan Oto. So this is collaboration between Sonjo and Oto company. Please. Okay, so this is the collaboration, and from one WhatsApp group to the next for the collaboration, you can see a different, a different element in this. Yeah, in Bandung Barat is more, in Bandung Raya is more complex rather than in Kudus, for instance. Next. Okay, so this is the one that we have with the firm, and last night I had a discussion with I had a sharing session with a colleague from Jakarta, and they, many of the firm in there, they would like to develop shelter. So there's a possibility that on Sunday evening, we will have again the BIMTech or the technical assistant. Next. So okay, so what are the emerging problems? These are the emerging problem, and we have to face it all at the same time. You can ask about Alissa, Wahid, that we are facing this kind of problem, a shortage of the bed, and also the ICU, and we know that all along because we have a Sonjo Rewangan. At the moment, we have, I think about the queue is about 8, but 6 of them requires ICU, and also we start, the Regency shelter is full, yeah. So we can, this is a problem, and the village, even the village shelter is also full. And also we have, I think about a week ago, or 10 days ago, we have a reduction in PCR test outbreak. Because there was an outbreak, so the staff is limited. So we have to develop a new WhatsApp group to coordinate with many laboratories in Yogyakarta. In the last 2 weeks, we deal with this, a lack of supply of oxygen across the hospital. Sunday evening, we work until 1 o'clock probably, keep on discussing about how to get through this this problem of oxygen into our hospital. On Monday, we have started in coffin, and we only noticed it at I think about 10:30 in the evening. Started in coffin, started in a body bag, and also yesterday we had information about the shortage of a GP due to the tracing, and the death during self-isolation is something quite challenging at the moment. Please. Okay, so this is the one we already in Sonjo. We prepared this. The second wave started 2 months ago when in India it showed us the search of a patient in the third day of the search in patient in India, and we at that time we tried to prepare. What can we do to prepare the second wave? But the challenge is, the strike. It's much more, it's unprecedented, and we don't expect that the spread is this fast and this much. So NEP, that's happening to us who prepare the system. And in Sonjo, we have 1,800 people, members, and we're trying to promote the development of the shelters, and even we develop the Sitango, the database, and etc. Even we talk to the government and the local government, or government don't hear us. We warned them on the 17th of June last year, so basically last month, but they don't hear us. Next. Okay, next one. So this is the role of the volunteers, and don't even think that those are paid. No, they are completely volunteers. They are 100% genuine volunteers. And why is it that those guys sleep tirelessly tired like that? Because they just finished what is that? Digging the grave. The last one, it was on 4:30 in the morning. So, and that's the list of help, people asking for help. Next. So we have Sonjo Kebijakan, this is related to the policy, and in December, where we have the pike of the epi curve, we provide policy recommendation to local government. At that time, we managed to meet the governor, and the governor gave us a good, the good response, and very at that time it was very good, back in December and January. And on the second wave, we tried to talk to the local government, but at that time we haven't met the governor. Yeah, but this is the problem. So, and we trying to solve the problem about the oxygen and etc. And this is the only WhatsApp group with the Chatham House rule. Next. Okay, so this is what's going on, Pak. Panjang umur perjuangan. I don't know how to say in English because it's not long life struggle. It will be inappropriate in there. So the way we work is just we still stick with the integrity, trying to be adaptive, trying to find a solution is innovative and persistent. We never stop, but unfortunately we have a limit in such a way that we cannot, if we want to move further, that will be the government. Actually, is we're crossing into the government authority. Now, what we need to do now is what we always urge is let the government do the business and tackle, and they lead us. Thank you for the time that's been given. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mas Rimawan. It's amazing the amount of activities you've been doing with Sonjo, and of course there's still a lot of problems, and despite the activities, the works you've been doing, but thank you for sharing with us. And now I'd like to invite Mbak Alissa to also share her experience, what she observes on the ground. We have around 100 participants. I'd like to welcome everyone. Also, Mas Ainun Najib from Kawal COVID. Thanks, Mas, for the information that you shared in the chat. So I'll give the screen to Mbak Alissa now. Silakan, Mbak Alissa.
Thank you, Pak Aco. Let me check is it on now?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for Pak Aco's program and New Indonesian Update for inviting me to share with you the situation from the battlefield. I thought a lot about what should be the title, and I finally settled on Down on Its Knees, because I think that is the current situation in Indonesia for me. This is I'm going to show you pictures that you might probably have read or seen somewhere in the WhatsApp groups, on social media, but that is the situations that we are currently facing in Indonesia. So like this, I don't know if all of you realized when Pak Rimawan used the sentence, "This is the only group with Chatham House rules." He said that, right? And it's about the WhatsApp group for the oxygen. If I'm not mistaken, it's the oxygen thing, yeah? The situation in Indonesia is like this. The numbers are bleak, of course. We have, this is from Lapor COVID-19, Mas Ainun Najib is here, so he probably can share also later on. In the six first days of July, we have 35 health workers died. Hospitals are collapsing. We are recording more and more what do you call it? Pecah record. What is that? Record-breaking numbers in Indonesia, and it's not something that we are proud of, because it's not something record-breaking that you want to share with the world, because it signifies the situation. So the steep is really the rise is really steep. The numbers are just going to rise and rise, and this is I'll show you later on. The challenge is that we cannot even trust the numbers. I think this is the biggest challenge in Indonesia. Like Stephen Covey Jr. used to say, the economy of trust. We are experiencing the economy of trust, or in this case, the economy of distrust. This is the situation at the health front. We have many announcements of hospitals closing down its services, closing down the COVID-19 segments, areas. We have like this one is from Sumeneb. We are, and this is not the bleakest one. We have many pictures going around about patients not receiving adequate treatments. They have to. I was looking for a picture from Madura. Actually, it was the patients were down on the floor because there was no bed anymore available for them. So this is the situation. And again, these are what made me frustrated is that these pictures are actually I found on WhatsApp groups with notifications like this. Please don't share this, because my superiors, my management, the local government won't allow us to share. This is the notifications, but because it's all, you know, once you get something on the WhatsApp group, it's hard to keep it on one WhatsApp group, right? So it's been circling around. I found it in many WhatsApp groups, but from the original WhatsApp groups, it's with notifications like that. I got even one note from a doctor in East Java who said that they know that numbers are actually not allowed to be used like that. So those are the situations. These are the situations in many hospitals. We have more and more hospitals with long queue of ambulances, and of course we have the challenge in the Indonesia is an archipelago. This is the biggest archipelago, and we know that outside of Java Island, the other islands in Indonesia are actually not that burdened. The situations is most dire in Indonesia, in Java. But Java has satellites, small islands like in Madura. And we found even in Madura, the situation is not good because, you know, in the last 3 weeks, we have seen a rise from 0 to 62 COVID positive cases. And to get the people from one island to another island, many islands, the smaller islands, they don't have hospitals. They only have what do you call it? Health centers, community health centers. Only one in one island, and then if you have someone with critical conditions, you have to take them to another island, which has a hospital, and it's 4 hours away by boat because they don't have the sea ambulance. And Gusdurian Peduli is right now trying to raise funds to buy a motorboat that can take the patient from islands to the island with the hospital in less than 1 hour sea trip. But this is the situation. So the person here has died already because of the delay in receiving the health services. We have many people not reporting to the health clinics of their conditions, and we have seen more and more news like this. The picture on the right is actually from a Gusdurian Peduli Center. They had to get this the body of this one person because he died in his small house without anyone taking care of him, and it turned out that he's positive. So these kind of stories surface all the time right now in Indonesia and in all manners, from social media, from WhatsApp groups, from Instagram, social platforms. So what gives? I chose to speak later than Pak Rimawan because I want to look at the helicopter view on the situation. What are the factors that put Indonesia in this bleak and dire situation? The first one is, of course, the leadership. We have a problem with the leadership right now, from the central government to the local government, and we have a crisis management situation because many, especially local governments, we are recording reports from the local areas. This is anecdotal, of course, reports I got more exposure to the situations, probably because we have Gusdurian network in 140 cities across Indonesia. So it's easier for me to get the anecdotal evidence and grassroots reports. We receive informations. I receive informations that many local governments, they deny, they are on denial about the situations. And that leads to the biggest, the most fundamental problems in Indonesia. That is the foundations of democracy. We lack accountability system to, especially to the local governments. And then part of the problem is the regional autonomy, because autonomy daerah gives so much power to the local government, especially at the district level. And because they are publicly elected, sometimes this local government, they don't feel that they are responsible and accountable to the higher structure. Like, for example, many public officials at the provincial level said that, oh, we have problems asking this the local government to do this and to do that, like that, and regional autonomy makes it harder for the health minister even to make sure that because the center for the community health centers, they are under the management of the district government, not the local, the central government. So the Ministry of Health had to go across to the Ministry of Interior Affairs, and then the Ministry of Interior Affairs go down to the provincial government, and then the district level government, if they want to reach the community health clinics, like that. So that's the challenge from the regional economy aspect, that makes it hard for a very consolidated effort in terms of health services. And then we have also the effect of ultra-conservatism in Indonesia. The rise of disobedience from the people partly are justified by the religious doctrine that promotes obedience to religious doctrines more than obedience to the government. I have tried to find the pictures and the videos. I have the videos. Maybe later I can play it out for you. So this is the situation in Indonesia. This is the economy of trust that that we're seeing. This is the map of the East Java, but this is different from the website's data. From Kafal COVID, the sixth yesterday, from the death numbers. From the central government, it's 549 deaths, but integrated data from the district sites, it shows it's already 832. And you see this kind of discrepancies every day. And we found out that even from the websites from the local government, sometimes the deaths are not, it's also underreported. So not the real number. So we have three levels of problems. At the sub-district level, they deny the numbers. And then from the numbers from the district, it's not the numbers that the central governments are announcing. So we have three kinds of numbers. We also have a challenge in terms of media coverage, because media are getting more and more bullied and attacked when they try to report with the real numbers from the ground. Like this one, the news about the news from Kompas.id about the situations in Sarjito Hospital in Yogyakarta. And then Divisi Humas Polri told that this is hoax, like that. So this is currently the challenge also at the district level and the provincial level. Medias from the regional level reporting the same issues, that suppressions of news reporting. And then this is the autonomy problem, the regional autonomy problems that I mentioned before. This one is from Kawal COVID-19. This is the Kadinkes, the chairperson of the health dinas is office from East Java provincial government, instructing his team that PCR should be focused on the healthy, so that the positive ratio of the district is not that high. And we have this district head, Bupati from Banjarnegara, who defied the instruction from the government, the governor of West Java, on putting Banjarnegara as one of the PPKM darurat cities. The local government said that no, we have no problems with COVID, and I allowed the Bupati said, I allow people to have the sports event, wedding event, whatever event, because we have no problems with COVID in Banjarnegara. And asked the people even to report to him if police or anyone try to stop the people. And now Banjarnegara is facing a rise in the situation. I'll end with good news. Cover PPKM darurat, yes. And then citizen demands. We're seeing more and more voices from the ground, from the people themselves. This petition, online petition that I put 7 days ago, right now it's almost 28,000 people signed the petition, and of course the social solidarity. So these are all and of course the story of Sonjo, Sambatan Jogja, that Pak Rimawan has shared with you. So I'll end with those good news, and God bless Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mbak Alissa. Very comprehensive and also very important. So let's now move to question and answer session. We already have some questions on the Q&A box. I'll just read some of them while waiting for those who. Okay, there are some hands raised. One from Mas Budi Reso Sudarmo. But before going to Mas Budi, let me read a question from Duncan Graham to Mas Rimawan. Could you please describe a typical village shelter? Is it government facility, an empty house, a converted building, and what facilities are provided? So please hold on to that question. And now let me invite Mas Budi to ask his question directly.
Please.
Yeah, thank you, Ajo. So my question is both for Mas Rimawan dan Mbak Alissa. One is that you seem to suggest, so we have this in a way government failure in terms of handling the COVID, and it seemed to me that you suggest society movement to complement this government failure issue. However, how optimistic you are that this society movement could actually fill out the gap, and what else that need to be done so then society movement could be much more effective. Second aspect is that there has been there has been a lot of critics on the government in terms of responding, particularly the executive part of the government, which is, I think, a correct target. But why we haven't seen a critic toward the member of the parliament? Why we haven't pushed harder that the member of the parliament, through political party, actually has to take responsibility the fact that the situation happens such as this in Indonesia? Should civil society move to that direction instead of taking over the role of the government in handling the COVID? Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Budi. Let's take those first, Mas Rimawan and Mbak Alissa. After this, I will take Pak Greg Healy, Hal Hill, and Surya. So let's now back to you first, Mas Rimawan.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the question from Pak Budi, this is basically the why is it that we try to develop Sonjo in the first place. So I understand how the government works. I understand how the government capacity. And the most important thing is that I understand the key performance indicator of the government, which is not fit to the purpose when we face this calamity like this. Remember, the key performance indicator that has been used since the Orde Baru, new order until now is a penyerapan anggaran. So this is a budget absorption. Now, that is if you have the mind of thinking about the budget absorption, do you ever think about the outcome? I don't think so. People are just trying to grasp, how to spend things. And now it's even worse. Even when we have money to spend, they don't spend it. So this is the situation that SME, the Minister of Finance, complaining about the 38 trillion that has been designated directly to the local government, that they have to spend it. They have to spend it for the COVID. How much do they spend up until end of June? I think it was about 9% out of the 38 trillion. Look, if you don't use that, the money it will be gone. So this is the situation that we see. Then we know exactly that one is the government doesn't have sufficient funding, and secondly, all along the key performance indicator that we use for the bureaucrats is actually completely wrong, and so that's why the Sonjo came. And why is it that in Sonjo there is no funding whatsoever? We want to prove that actually without funding we can make difference. Without funding, we still be able to deliver outcomes. And the outcomes now is everywhere. We can show to the people, 16 months, we stay like this. So it's completely voluntary. And that's possible. Now, this one is like a shifting paradigm that we're trying to show to people. Look, if you're trying to do this, we can do it actually. We want to promote the social contract that we have since our independence. That the situation is that we have a triple helix between the government, the society, and also the business, and we work together. Up until now, the approach that we use is usually the government provide the funding, and the people is just like receiving something. Now we're trying to shift our paradigm with Sonjo by saying that no, we don't accept fund money. We help you. And why we don't work together? That is the situation. Now the second part is related to this is in terms of the government, there's also mixed. So basically the executive, some of the executive, like the new Minister of Health, he worked quite tremendously, and work very hard and very tactical as well. So we appreciate his performance, but unfortunately other ministers sometimes provide false, contradictory, message. Yeah. For instance, you can go, you're not allowed to go mudik, but you're allowed to go to the tourist center. So this is the situation. Oh, the Minister of Education saying that I don't want to have a discussion, but in August, everything it has to go to school. Come on. Now, this is the problem. Another problem that we haven't come across at the moment is the role of the political parties and also the politician. Now, this is the one that it's just a matter of time, actually, because when this kind of, our work we can show, look, none of us have the ESCA. What is that? None of us has the authority. There is no authority. We haven't given any authority, but we work for the people. The question is that where is the political parties? Where are the politicians? At the moment, they're still thinking about 2024. Come on. I'm sorry. I can say now like this in front of you. It is not necessarily that next month or 2 months later we will meet again. I'm sorry. This is the situation. But why is it that people still talking about 2024? Hey, hello. Even the politician may not be survive at that time. So that's that's from me, Pak.
Thank you, Mas Rimawan. Mbak Alissa, before going to you, can I add one more from Mbak Ines? There's a question for you, Mbak Alissa, from Bu Ines at Musukarto. You stressed that the situation is most dire in Java, but how long until the situation spreads to other more remote islands which are definitely not ready for this assault? Will we see a third wave in a few months with epicenters in other islands? So, Mbak Alissa.
Yes. So I'll answer Mbak Ines's question first. We are bracing for the impact of Idul Adha, of course. Idul Adha is on the 20th of July. And we know that in Idul Adha, you have this ceremonies of potong kurban, right? Those would be the time when people have to touch each other, or at least touching something together. And if we're not able to stop these celebrations, then yes, we will have. I believe that we will have to brace ourselves for the August impact on the situation, the third wave, or I don't know which wave anymore. Is it still the second wave, or it would be the third wave? And about the other islands, yes, it's only a matter of time. Even though I still believe that the current restrictions on flying are also going to mitigate that projections. I'm hoping that the flight restrictions and will help decrease the chances, or at least give us some time to have a melandai. What is melandai in English, Pak Aco? The numbers to flattening, yeah, in other islands of Indonesia. Kalimantan is on the rise right now. We still receive numbers from these areas, and Sumatra was actually before Java, right? Before Sumatra was directly around Idul Fitri. So they were first, and then Java. But what about other islands? I think this is just a matter of time that we will see a rise in numbers. But hopefully, with the restrictions, it will be not as bleak as Java. And can I go straight to the questions from Pak Budi, ya, Pak Aco?
Yes, silakan.
Government failure. Do I consider this as a government failure? Yes. I've written about this many times in Compass, actually. So yes, I think the government could have done much better. And these situations that we're facing are actually the result of lack of preparedness, lack of crisis management, lack of the ability to face brutal facts. Yes, I understand that leadership in a country as big as Indonesia, and also as precarious as Indonesia, in many ways is not easy, but the push and pull between the economic sectors and the health sectors are having its toll in Indonesia right now. So yes, this is a failure. Will civil society movement or society movement fill out the gap? No. We can only do so much. Pak Rimawan in one of the Sonjo's group put up a meme, e-poster saying that on the brink of what was that, Pak Rimawan? This is the end of Sambatan, actually, like that. And Pak Rimawan, I and other public leaders also come up with campaigns on Tarik Rem Darurat. We even have a press conference saying this is the end. We're on the edge of the capacity for the volunteers and the society movement. We can only do so much. We can only try to help in limited ways. So we cannot take over the roles of the government. But can we help? Yes. Like for example, the picture that I showed you, this one we actually sorry. This one, you see the military. This is from the naval, the navy from the Armada Timur II, the East Armada. Armada is what in English? The fleet, yeah. The navy from Surabaya. We asked them to help us with taking care of the smaller islands of East Java. And starting from 2 days ago, they are already in the smaller islands. So we had a Zoom meeting discussing about the situations. We have the people from the health centers, the local health centers from the islands, and then we have the Camat. We have the commanders from the Navy, and then Gusdurian Peduli, and then also the NU COVID response team. So we managed to get the Navy team to visit the islands and give vaccinations. We give health services to the situations, but they were not able to do the ambulance to have one of their motorboat ready simultaneously, because they have to go to other places also. So those are the things that we can do to help. Even the shelters that Pak Rimawan mentioned. Actually, in Bantul, we started in Bantul. The shelter started in Bantul in Yogyakarta, but we are seeing how different the initiative of building local shelter when the local government was involved and engaged and supportive. If the local government is supportive, then it's easier for the local community to set up the shelters that they are managing themselves. But if we have the local government who are in denial, then even though we try to assist the local communities to set up the shelter itself would not be operational, or at least only in operations for a short time, only because of lack of support from the local government. About the support, about working with DPRD or the legislative bodies and the political parties, actually the challenge is actually working with them, because the situation is turning into a political situations, like Pak Rimawan said. It's about 2024. So that is why many society movement would rather not work with the with at least in Gusdurian Peduli and in NU, we know that we don't really engage the legislation members of parliament, local parliaments, because we fear that it will turn into a political contest. And we have seen those kind of situations at the grassroots level, at the local level. So that's why it's not, we don't really go into that. And we know that there's currently, on social media, the Ministry of Religious Affairs put out the circular letter forbidding the local worship places to hold masses and jamaah salat. And suddenly on social media arose this hashtag Menteri Agama Rasa Komunis, religious minister with a communist taste, like that. So it turns into a very political dynamic. So that's why we don't involve the political parties. Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Alissa. Let's now listen to questions from Greg Feely, Hal Hill, and Surya. Greg? Greg?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Alissa. I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about what you were actually just speaking about at the end of your last question, and that was, you mentioned religion and ultra-conservatism as one of the problems in the COVID response. And you linked this to people believing more in religion than they do in government. And I wondered if it's even bigger than them not believing in government, it's them not really trusting science. But to come back to the conservative issue, I'm just wondering where the real problem lies here. The last example you gave about Menag Rasa Komunis or something like that, you suggest ultra-conservatism, but anecdotally, it suggests that organisations like Muhammadiyah, which have a lot of people with a science or technical background in them, have actually been quite good at following the COVID protocols. But more of a problem might be in more traditional communities or traditionalist communities, such as NU and the like. We know what happened with Habib Rizik and FPI, which is largely traditionalist, but also lots of stories from NU strongholds where people are inclined, they're religious, they don't have a high degree of knowledge or trust in science, but they do in their traditional religious beliefs. So I wonder if that is also part of the problem. It's this awareness of science, trust in science, rather than a traditional set of religious beliefs.
Thank you, Pak Greg. Hal?
Selamat siang Bu Alissa dan Pak Rimawan. Terima kasih banyak atas presentasi yang menarik. And nice to see you, Rimawan. Sudah lama, long time no see. It's a question which sort of follows a bit from Budi's question. So, the absence apparently of much cooperation between the central government and grassroots volunteer groups. And I guess it's a problem not just Indonesia, but worldwide. And the story, if I understand correctly, is, Jakarta's the remote capital city, and a lot of capital cities are remote, and that's the way they operate. But I would have thought with dalam era autonomy daerah that you might have got bigger response or more responsiveness from the Pemda, from the local governments at the kabupaten level. But if I understand correctly, that also has been largely missing, has it? Even in these apparently very well-governed local governments, which we know there are quite a few of them. Thanks again, really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Pak Hal. Last but not least for this round is Surya. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Moderator. I like to ask to Rimawan and Ibu Alissa, what kind of programs you have for the hulu management? Sonjo is more for the hilir, yeah? Many things like that. But to tackle the hulu what kind of things you have done, or the son you have done. Also for Alissa, maybe really good things for, because our people are so difficult to educate. So we have maybe to do special treatment for that. So it can also not be with enforcement. That doesn't work also, I think. So any suggestion from you two? The second one is for your healer, Sonjo. Do you not get any priorities for oxygen, for drugs also? Does the local or central government doesn't see you as a potential to help you in this healer things? Because you cannot do it alone, I think. And Ibu Alissa said there is a lot, or you said there is a lot of money actually given to the local and government and so, but it's not spent yet or something like that. So that's contradictory, I think, isn't it? Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Surya. Bu Alissa, can we hear from you first?
Okay, the first one is the problems of ultra conservatism, whether it's on the disobedience to the government, or is it about the nature of the traditional communities that is not trusting science enough, but only on faith. Yes, Pak Greg, I believe that the by ultra conservatism that I use, I mean about putting religion first. So the campaign is religion first. Agama lebih penting, and it goes to so many aspects of everyday life. Even I always use the example of child marriage in Indonesia. We're currently having problems combating the child marriage issues because many people we managed to lift the age limit for marriage to 19, but then the religious leaders said to the teenagers that, oh, what's more important is the religious blessing. You don't need you can get that later on, but agama lebih penting. Religion is more important. And in pandemic situation, if you go to YouTube or even in social media, you will see many videos regarding the videos from religious leaders, from preachers, not only from Muslim society but also from churches that promotes this disobedience because we need to fear God. The most viral one about several days ago was about one Habib in Kalimantan who said that we have to fear God, don't follow the government. And this morning I received one from Rembang, Jawa Tengah, also saying the same thing, that this government is doomed. Indonesia is doomed because because mosques are closing down, because the military and the police are they want the government wants us to defy God. So we need to defy the government. Those kind of situations, Pak Greg, that I think is about ultra conservatism. But yes, this disregard to science also influence especially what I've seen in the Jamaah of Nahdlatul Ulama. We have so many kiais, older ulamas passed away because of this belief that death is just a matter of time and it's a takdir. This is something that we cannot do. Even we have medical doctors within NU who said that yes, we can do so much. Wash hands, yes, it's important, but death you cannot defy like that. So it's yes, I think both, but disobedience against the government's PPKM darurat, especially regarding the religious ceremonies and religious rituals, they're based on more fundamental issues that Indonesia is facing. Like that. And the second question is about the Hulu program. I think Pak Rimawan, of course, talked about many of the Sonjo's work, but mainly we're trying to advocate policies, public policies that is relevant to the current situations. Both in Sonjo, in Gusdurian Peduli, we're advocating this aspects of the situations a lot. So we're trying to give support, but I think the people from the grassroots, from the field, have different perspectives, different paradigms in seeing the situations. The governments are adamant that the economy should not be put at risk. And because of this paradigm, of course, health sectors is lower priority. Thank you, Pak Jo.
Thank you, Mbak Alissa. Mas Rimawan, over to you.
And I'll try to answer the question that's been raised by Pak Halil. Thank you, Pak, and nice to see you again. So basically, we're trying to split. We're trying to differentiate between who we can work with and who we cannot work with. Basically, in Sonjo, I try to introduce what I call the fairness equilibria by Matthew Rabin in 1993. So, and I said, look, fairness is about reciprocal relationship. We will be nice to those who are nice to us, and it is justified to be mean to people who are mean to us. So in these circumstances, why is it that we're trying to choose the fairness equilibria? Because we're trying to preserve our energy, our resources. This will be a prolonged, the COVID will be prolonged, and we envisage the Sonjo will be still exist in 2 to 3 years time without any funding. So how to do that? So we need to pick our collaborator. If we see that our collaborator is just useless, we don't want to do this. I want to be bluntly open to you. First, when Sonjo we have a Sonjo, we never contacted the Ministry of Health. But when Pak Budi Sadikin in charge, and we saw him working very strategically, we start to contact with him, and in March 2021 he went to Gadjah and visited the shelter, because from January onward, start from December, we try to push to other people to try to promote the dual referral system, and also the multi-level shelter that has been developed by Dinkes or Health Office of Bantul. So then, our relationship is very, very, very good. And even when we have a problem, like Pak Surya mentioned, we have a problem with the oxygen. We have a direct communication basically with Pak Budi, and I mentioned this is the problem. Then we have and etc. And then he replies, and even with related to the stock of the drugs, that the same thing occur as well. Okay, so we pick that. So in terms of the so who are our contact at the moment? Mostly is with several ministers, Ministry of Health, and also the KUKM, the SMEs. Yeah, we have close working with them, and also the coordinator ministry of the PMK, yeah, Pak Muhajir. In terms of the provincial level, we only deal with the governor, only with him. The rest will be with the Regency. We only work with the Bantul and Sleman, because they are the one who open their mind and open their arm and work with us. So we help them. So this is the way we work. So we pick and mix. I'm sorry we have to do that, because otherwise we will be exhausted. Now, in terms of Pak Surya, I can answer you, Pak. So why is it that we're trying to propose the shelter? Shelter is basically based on the 3T. Treat, test, and what is that? Test, trace, test, and treat. And in terms of treat, we do the isolation, and how to do the isolation facilities is with shelter. And we discussed this all along in January 2021 with the Menkes, with health minister, and because they want to go to the Hulu, trying to as well. And now we also trying to promote the vaccination. So this is the way we try to do. And why is it that if we talk to everyone about the shelter, it's basically related to the facility for the isolation. Because without any facilities of the isolation, that will be a problem, because you can identify those who are ill, but if you don't have facilities for the isolation, that will be dangerous in terms of the spread out more on the disease. We try to, in terms of the one thing that we cannot do basically in Sonjo is that trying to understand the intensity of the test. We only knew from Bantul and Sleman because we work together. Sleman is 1.87 out of 1,000, and Bantul is 1.2 out of 1,000. That was prior to the second wave. I think in the second wave it's higher, and now we glad that the Ministry of Health creating a new indicator. So the indicator is that how much the test rate for each of the region, and we welcome that, because that's make our life easier. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Mas Rimawan. We have two more questions, one from Peter Macaulay and another one written by Professor Ann Booth. I'll read it after we hear from Peter Macaulay. Pak Peter, silakan, Pak.
Baiklah, terima kasih. You can hear me, ya?
Yes.
Jelas. Baiklah. Okay. Saya ada pertanyaan. I have a question for baik Pak Rimawan and Bu Alissa, dua-duanya. This is about, my question really is to just ask about your kesan, your lapor from the situation in Gadjah. I think Bu Alissa said that she is in Gadjah. And I am wondering, what is the keadaan, the situation on the ground? Now, maksud saya, what I am thinking of is, what do you see amongst your friends? I mean, roughly, kira-kira, yeah? Roughly, how many people would you say in your keluarga, kelompok, in the Department Gamma, Department Ekonomi Gamma, dan lain sebagainya, and Bu Alissa in your NGO, NU, roughly how many people have had COVID, would you say? I mean, obviously this is a little bit vague. Some people have had a little bit. Some people have had it very serious. But if we just ask, kira-kira berapa itu 30%, 50%, 30%, 50%, 80% of people would say that they have been affected, terkena COVID. Kira-kira berapa? How many? And I'm not talking really about the seriousness now, but people say, I have had flu, or I have been sick. Jadi, how many people amongst your kelompok, your group, would you say? 30, 50, 80, roughly how many? That's all. I want trying to get a feeling for keadaan on the spot. Just your kesan.
Thank you, Pak Peter. And let me read the question from Professor Ann Booth. Yeah. Could the speakers say a little more about the role of the Puskesmas? One speaker implied that the Central Ministry of Health has little control over them. Many are considered to be under-resourced, but local governments don't give them funds. Are they playing any useful role in combating COVID? Do they have oxygen or trained staff? So maybe Pak Rimawan first.
Okay, let me answer the Bu and Booth first. So basically, it depends. The answer is depends. It depends on how good is the head of the what is that? There are two people here that playing the role. One is the head of the region, and the second one is the head of the what is that? Office of Health. Yeah. And like in Bantul, for instance, the Office of Health, what they did is that Bantul is not rich areas. They're not rich. Their budget is probably only the third largest in what is that in Jogja in comparison to others. So they are basically mediocre. However, they're willing to refocusing their budget start from in April 2020. When in 2020, they developed the emergency hospital, everybody was laughing because they said, why is it that you do this? You know, but, and also the way we work with the shelter is actually related to always related to the Puskesmas. Shelter will not be operating without Puskesmas. Why? Because the trash, and when you're trying to, people goes to the Puskesmas first, and then they will be identified whether they want to go to, they have to go to the village shelter or the regency shelter, or goes directly to the hospital, is based on the Puskesmas. So the Puskesmas has a very big power in these circumstances with the shelter system. Yeah. So, but then the question is that out of 5 regencies in Jogja, only 2 who embraced the shelter approach. The rest, they said, 2 months ago, I tried to offer them, look, we are in Sonjo willing to help you if you want to develop shelters. And they said, no, one of the regions said that, no, I think we will be sufficient with self-isolation. But we know exactly in self-isolation in the village, come on, they are not adequate. Yeah. Now, the Wakil Bupati came, they give a message that we are going to develop shelters. So, so this is the situation too. Yeah. So in terms of, are they trained? Yes. Do they have funding? The government, basically, what is that? The district government, the region government, they do have funding. Like, as I said before, 38 trillion of the funding that has been earmarked for tackling COVID, that's been spread out to all of the regencies, only being spent 9%. So the question is that we always said in Sonjo, we can do everything, depend on three character: M-A-U, mau, or willingness. Without willingness, there is nothing we can do.
Thank you, Mas Rimawan. Mbak Alissa?
Yes, the situations in Jogja, Pak Peter used the term gamma, so I can. It's so less than 3, Pak Peter. So you probably know Jogja very much. We don't have. Yes, we have the current reporting from the local government. I tried to find I have not find the what do you call it, the meme on that. But if how many is it 30% or 50%? I don't think I can give accurate answers to that. But what we're seeing is I show you the picture, the meme about the Puskesmas health clinics being closed down. And last week we have more than 10 hospitals closing down their doors on COVID patients. They only open again on Sunday. I was in isoman,
Self-isolation
last week, And when I went to the hospital to get the examinations from the doctor, the queue was really long. I spent 2 hours waiting in line on the drive-through in one of the one of the most modern and expensive hospital. And it already, I had to spend 2 hours in my car waiting for my turn for drive-through, and then the next couple of days going back there, had to wait like 2 hours for my turn on the COVID clinic. So it's really, really, I don't know the right numbers, but it's that anecdotal evidence, I would say more than 30% of people in Yogyakarta are already contracted, but they're on self-isolation. They're at the mild symptoms. I have been sending health packages to my friends, and we're getting more and more cases out there. So again, it's the economy of trust. Pak Rimawan mentioned again and again about trust and willingness, and that's what we're facing.
Thank you so much, Mbak Alissa. Mas Rimawan, you have anything more to add?
Yes, in terms of how many people who were infected, actually in a faculty of economics, probably roughly about 10 or 15 out of 150 lecturer that we have. Although we also lost some of our colleagues as well, but I think was about four colleagues who passed away, start from the beginning. But it should be noted that most of us is actually the majority of us are more than 50 how much more than 50s, so most of us will stay at home, but we are not going around or anything because we are too old for that. so this is the structure of the age of the lecturer, of course, play a crucial role as well on this numbers that I mentioned before. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Rimawan, Ibu Alissa. Thank you so much. I think it's been very interesting and also important session. We have passed our time limit. I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of the Indonesia project. We had around 100 participants as far as Beijing. We have Sherry Taukong from Beijing, and also before we have Ronit Ricci from Tel Aviv. So it's quite a lot of attendance today. So thank you so much for everyone. Sorry that if some of your questions cannot be addressed today, but we will copy them and then send them to Pak Rimawan and Ibu Alissa as feedback for them. Again, thank you so much and see you next time. Maybe Nuka has some information about next.
Oh, okay.
Over to you, Nuka.
Yep, thank you, Ajo. Next week, we will have the Indonesia study group with Pak George Quinn. He will be talking, the title is Back from the Dead, the Surprising Revival of Creative Writing in Javanese. This should be a much lighter topic than today. This is a hybrid seminar and you can join online or on Facebook, online or in person and on campus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mbak Alissa. Mas Rimawan, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Alissa.
Thank you, Mas Rimawan dan Mbak Alissa.